and welcome to the program. I am Deji Badimasi. The tragedy of the Ikoyi building collapse is yet to be fully quantified as more victims have been confirmed dead in what seems like a retrieval operation by emergency operatives. The high-rise 21-story building still under construction located at Gerrard Street in Ikoyi, Lagos, Southwest Nigeria, collapsed on Monday, November the 1st, with many persons trapped inside, including the developer and owner of the building. So far, over 30 persons, including the owner of the building, have died from the incident. 9 persons were brought out alive with some injury, of course. Some of them have actually been treated and discharged from hospital. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, during a visit to the site of the collapsed building, admitted that mistakes were made from all angles during the construction of the building, assuring that anyone found culpable will be prosecuted. The state government has also set up an independent panel to probe the circumstances surrounding the collapse of the building and make recommendations. But the question is, should this kind of unfortunate incident been happening in a modern-day city like Lagos? And we're talking about a 21-story building. Well, joining me now to discuss this further is Olugbenga Akala, who is, of course, an engineer. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. And first, let me ask you how shocked you are by the collapse of this building.
Well, firstly, I would say it was a pathetic situation. When I read it in the media, it was really a shock to me, because how could 21-story building just be brought down abruptly? And there are other two that were standing, and the most shocking thing is it just came down vertically. It didn't affect the other parts of the buildings. So it was a shock to me, really, when I saw it in the media.
So now that the governor has set up an independent panel to probe the circumstances surrounding the collapse, what exactly do you think that panel should be looking at? If you were speaking to the panel, if you were advising them, what would you say they should be looking at?
Well, we all know some of the vivid issues that may have erupted. We know Nigeria is a country, not even Nigeria, it is endemic in Africa. We are battling with corruption because of plummeted economic situation. We are looking for ways to cut corners. But it is also a shock to me, because this business mogul seems to have successfully completed this type of structures. He has replicated in the UK, he has replicated in South Africa. Then why is it not working in Nigeria? So I think the governor swiftly moving into action to set up a panel to look into the issue. They should be looking at a lot of areas. You cannot have access to the physical structure because it's already collapsed, it's destroyed. But you need to also look at those paperwork, like some that has been rampaging the media, like the paperwork the consultant sent saying that he has pulled out because the contractor or the owner was not adhering to this professional advice. We need to also start from that angle, and also we need to verify his claims. We know Nigeria, a lot of things could be backdated, but also the panel should look at the strength of the structures. We know it's collapsed. We know it would have been affected because already it has been disturbed. But you don't really have access to checking a lot of areas, investigative areas. But the limited window that one has should be exploited. We know the ministry said they have closed down this construction of this building some time ago in June, July.
Yes, and I was going to ask you that because, as a matter of fact, we have seen a video that has surfaced where attempts were made to seal up the place. And, of course, we saw even the owner of the building in that video, trying to fight off the officials of Lagos State who came to seal up the building. So you begin to get an impression that, and even the governor himself did say that, the deputy governor did say that sometime in June, the place was also sealed up for like 3 or 4 weeks. All of that would begin to point to some conclusion that even before now, there was a problem with the building.
Yeah. Well, the structural company, that's the consulting company, for them to have flagged the issue that, well, they cannot continue because the owner of the building or the contractor is not adhering to their professional advice, it then brings to mind, is it a result of corruption? Is it a result of non-adherence to building codes and standards, like QA/QC. You need to submit cube tests. You need to get the compressive strength test of rebars that you're going to use. And the contractors, if they are not submitting all these documents, there is no way you can ascertain the strength, or there is no way you can ascertain that this structure you're going to build will stand the test of time. So if the consultants see that the contractors or the owners of these infrastructures are not adhering, they will pull out, and which is what we believe they did, according to the correspondence flying around the social media. So
Finally, before I let you go, let me quickly ask you this. What do you think, as a civil engineer, what are some of the things that could make a building fall down the way this collapsed?
Oh, there are various, in fact, there are plethora of reasons. Human error could cause this. Human error, that there is also, it has two dimensions. We have the office human error and the field human error. The office human error could occur as a result of bad design. However, looking at the trend or what is currently happening, it seems the consultant is competent. He knows what he's doing. So maybe at this point, till the Lagos State government concludes their investigation, we may say that the aspect of the design issue is not to be considered. If we look at the field aspect, when the consultants say, okay, put so quantity of bags of cement in a particular mix, or you use a particular quantity of reinforcement, when you get to the field, the contractor may decide to cut corners and reduce costs. Maybe instead of buying about 1,000 bags of cement for a particular slab, he may decide to use 800. That's 200 times. How much is the cost of bags of cement now? Maybe 3,800 times 200. You now multiply by the numbers of floors, columns, beams. You see, these are some of the problems that we are facing in this country and in Africa at large, not only in Nigeria. I don't want to, there is also the possibility of weak foundation, but I don't want to also consider that, because if a consultant has told you don't go more than a particular number of floors, it means the design that he has done will only cater for that particular number of floors. So if you go a floor or 3 floors higher, it could be detrimental. It may not be able to carry the load, considering the fact that it's going to carry lots of dynamic loads. Dynamic load says that we have people coming in and out of the office. You don't know their numbers. You can't determine them. So that aspect of weak foundations, which could be a cause, I think I would not consider that. We also have the non-adherence to building codes and stuff, like I said earlier, and it's evident because the contractor may not, adhere to the standards that they should have, adhered to.
And unfortunately, from the signage we saw outside of the construction site, you just have the phone number of the owner as the contractor, the client, the consultant, and everything. So, I mean, everything doesn't seem to be right with all of this.
Doesn't. But it amazes me why everything doesn't seem to be right, because he has successfully done this. He has replicated it in UK and South Africa. So why is it failing in Nigeria? Why did he fail in Nigeria?
That's the big question. That's the big question.
Has the owner seen Nigeria?
I guess that is what this panel will have to find out, because there's a possibility. You never can tell. Yes, he's done well in, as he said, he's done well in other places. So why here? Why here? Could it be that it's easier to to cut corners here? I don't know. We just can't jump to conclusions, but we just have to wait until the panel makes its findings known. Olugbenga Akala, civil engineer, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Mr. Deji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I also spoke with the head of the Institute of Architects. That's the Lagos State chapter of the Institute of Architects now. He was at the site. I'm talking about Mr. David Majakodumi. He was at the site. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about the building.
You can't be penny wise and pound foolish. The developer is penny wise and pound foolish. And at this point, I'm calling on Lagos State government to please put a regulation or a regulatory body on all the developers in Lagos State. Because coming into the site, at every construction site, the first requirement is to have a signage at the entrance, which tells you who the architect, who the structural engineer, who the other consultants are, and who the M&E or the main contractor and subcontractors are. But coming into the site now, and which this signage must have been at the entrance of the site for the past 2 years that the construction has been going on, unfortunately, is the same person, the same developer, is the same client, is the same consultant, is the same main contractor. Is he an architect? Is he an engineer? Is he a builder? And this is also bring to the saying, let the regulatory bodies tighten their belt and do the needful.
All right, we'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll be switching to politics. Stay with us, don't go away.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.